Another Manic and Panic Monday is upon us here in the Total Sports Ozone. We're going to have wall-to-wall football to touch on today. NFL. Are the Kansas City Chiefs done as the stranglehold? As having the stranglehold on the AFC? Could it be over for the Kansas City Chiefs? What about the Eagles in the NFC? Not the greatest offensive performance, but their defense, are they going to have to lean on that defense in order to have a chance to repeat as Super Bowl champions? Shadeur Sanders. He made his NFL debut yesterday. How'd he look? I think we all know the answer to that, but we're going to dive into that. And in college football, we can expect a shakeup in tomorrow's college football playoff rankings. 2 top 10 teams took losses last week. What's that going to do for the college football playoff rankings? We're going to get into all that and more today on the Sports Ozone. Big O with the big mouth coming at you on a Manic Monday, November 17th, 2025, here in the Total Sports Ozone. And if you like what you're about to hear, if you like what I've been doing, please hit the like and subscribe button. Please post a comment. I see a comment, I will get back with you. I promise. So let's dive into this. NFL over the weekend. I didn't want to bring this up first, but he did play. That's right. Shadeur Sanders made his NFL debut in the second half of yesterday's Browns-Ravens game. How I think he looked? Well, it wasn't great, that's for sure. I mean, how can you say it was great when you only throw for 47 yards on 4 for 16 passing, and you throw an interception, and you were sacked twice? But couple of them throws that he did make, one of them could have been a touchdown. The one throw he put on a deep pass in the left corner end zone, and it just got broken up by the Ravens defender at the last second to prevent a touchdown. That was probably his best throw. He did have some couple of good throws over the middle. And what I liked, what I saw from Shadeur Sanders, is the fact that he didn't look like a deer caught in headlights. It was like he wanted to be out there. He took command of the huddle. He wasn't scared. You didn't see no freezing in him. His problem is what everybody's been saying was his mechanics. He holds on to the ball too long. He runs back out of the pocket instead of side to side, and he took 2 long sacks. Those are, if I believe, in my opinion, those are issues that can be corrected with time and with reps. With time and with reps. Now, the reason why Shadeur Sanders came into the game was because Dillon Gabriel went out of the game with a concussion. Browns lost the game. I wasn't even worried about the win or the loss. But what really concerned me was in the post-game press conference, Coach Kevin Stefanski said that Dillon Gabriel will be starting next week against the Raiders. Did you forget, Kevin, that this quarterback is in a concussion protocol? He may not be even available to play next week. So that got me to thinking. I really don't think Kevin Stefanski believes in Shadeur Sanders. I don't think he trusts him. I don't think he believes in him. It must be that way. Or is there some conspiracy theory that I don't know about? Because if I'm not mistaken, the Browns have 2 active quarterbacks on their roster, or they did as of going into yesterday's game. Dylan Gabriel and Shadeur Sanders. We're not even talking about Deshaun Watson. He's just sitting back, eating up collecting $45 million, just sitting on his ass doing nothing. We ain't even worry about him. You got 2 active quarterbacks. 2! You would think that you would give both quarterbacks time, reps, I would say, with your first team starters. Because you're only one play away from QB1 going down, and you need to go with QB2. Am I right or wrong? So shouldn't you give the backup quarterback at least, I don't know, 10, maybe 15 reps with the first team starters just to get accustomed to, just for the rest of that offense to get accustomed to a snap count, so he can get like some kind of chemistry built with 1 or 2 of the receivers, maybe the tight end, maybe the running back out of the backfield, get the timing right with these guys. He didn't give him none. Stefanski did not give Shadeur Sanders no reps with the first team. So you mean to tell me all this time that Dylan Gabriel has been the starting quarterback, that Shadeur Sanders got no reps with the first team in practice? And then you throw him out there because you ain't got no choice against the Ravens? So, here's my question. Are the Browns setting Shadeur Sanders up for failure or for success? Well, it's clear to me they don't believe in him. It's clear to me they do not believe in Shadeur Sanders. So that goes into my next question. If you didn't believe in him, why the hell did you draft him? Why did you draft him? Now I know I'm gonna have people out there thinking, well, he's a 5th round grade. He was drafted in the 5th round. Well, we're spending a lot of capital on Shadeur Sanders. He was just drafted in the 5th round. You were 3-14 last year. 3-14. If you were drafting Shadeur Sanders to prove a point to him or to humble him, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. When you go 3-14, you ain't in no position to be trying to humble anybody. Your team stinks. 3-14 is 3-14. That tells me that you got holes all over your roster. Not just at quarterback. You got holes in running back. You got holes on the offensive line. You definitely got holes at wide receiver. You got holes at linebacker. You got holes probably in your secondary. So you are not in any position to be drafting a player just to humble him, just to prove a point to him. No, you're not in a position to be wasting draft picks, because that's all that is. And right now, it seems to me, drafting Shadeur Sanders, I don't give a damn what round he was drafted in. It was a wasted pick. If that's how you're going to treat your quarterbacks, why the hell did you draft them? Why? I will ask that question until somebody gives me a legitimate answer. Don't give me, it was the 5th round. Damn that! You got holes all over your team. 5th round, why didn't you draft a wide receiver? 5th round, why didn't you draft a linebacker? 5th round, why didn't you draft a cornerback? See, you got holes. 5th round, why didn't you draft a defensive lineman? 5th round, why didn't you trade that pick out to move up to get a 4th round pick and draft a wide receiver? You don't have a wide receiver on that team, which is probably why Joe Flacco stunk. He didn't have a wide receiver. Don't give me Jerry Jeudy. You don't have a wide receiver. You don't have a bona fide wide receiver on that roster right now. There's a reason why the Denver Broncos let Jerry Jeudy walk. Say bye-bye. Traded him for a bag of stale peanuts and a flat soda. There's a reason. He's not an ex-receiver. He's barely a Y. So you have no wide receivers for your quarterbacks to have faith in throwing the ball to. You don't have them. So you draft two quarterbacks, but you don't draft a wide receiver for them to throw the ball to. Real smart. See what I mean? If you didn't want to play him, Shadeur Sanders, you shouldn't have freaking drafted him. You could have used that 5th round pick to either trade up or pick a position of need. When you are 3-14, you have needs all over your damn team. Not just that quarterback. You had already drafted Dillon Gabriel. And before that, if I'm going to walk down memory lane a little bit, you had re-signed Joe Flacco. And then you signed Kenny Pickett. He was supposed to be your backup. So I'm thinking, why don't you draft a wide receiver? Maybe two. Some guys that these quarterbacks can get the ball to. Nope, you don't do that. You draft Dillon Gabriel in the 3rd round. You draft Shadeur Sanders in the 5th round. And people telling me he's just a 5th round pick. You don't have, like I said, you're not in a position when you're 3-14 to be wasting picks. Especially when you have cap problems. Because one quarterback is eating up damn near $80 million in cap space. You don't have time to waste picks. When you're a bad team with cap problems, if you're not going to give the guy a decent chance to play, don't draft him. And then when you finally play him, you ain't got no choice, but you gotta play him. Don't get mad when he looks like crap. Because you didn't prepare him as the coach. You didn't prepare the man. You didn't give him first team reps. You haven't given him first team reps. So when he finally goes out there and plays, what do you think is going to happen? Personally, I think the Browns and the coaching staff is setting this young man up for immediate failure. And I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right. And I think it's really freaking stupid. Because you are not in a position to be setting anybody up for failure when you went 3-14. And you've only won 2 games out of 10 in the current season. You ain't in no position. None. To be wasting someone's talent. Because you ain't got that much talent on your team to begin with. Now that you might not have no choice but to play Shadeur Sanders, because ain't no telling if Dillon Gabriel is going to come out of concussion protocol this week. You may not have no choice but to play Shadeur Sanders. And you ain't got no choice but to get him ready. And I want to see more of him. I'm pretty sure a lot of the Browns fans want to see what he can do when he has a full week of first team reps to get ready. We would like to see that. I mean, damn, you draft 2 quarterbacks. We already know Dillon Gabriel ain't the one. Hell, the man can't even throw the ball where you can catch it. He throws it at people's feet at the ground. So he ain't the one. We already know that. If Kevin Stefanski don't know that, then he got to go. Obviously, he don't know that. But we see, I'm sure all you Browns fans out there, you've seen Dylan Gabriel. You know he ain't the one. He wasn't that good when he was in the game. 7 of 10, 68 yards. He didn't do that well when he was in the game. Why not give a young man a chance to see what he do? Shadeur Sanders. Why not? If you're not going to give him a fair shake, don't. That's just how I see it. You're not going to give every player you drafted at least a fair chance to make the team and play and see what they can do. Don't draft them, especially when you're 3-14. You ain't in no position to be wasting picks. You're not. You are not in that kind of position. You are not the Buffalo Bills. You are not the Philadelphia Eagles. You are not the LA Rams. You are not the Seattle Seahawks. You are the 3-14 Cleveland Browns who are currently 2-8. You are not in a position to be wasting picks. And that is what I believe you've done with Shadeur Sanders. You wasted a pick. A pick that could have been used to fill a need at another position. Wide receiver, offensive lineman, linebacker. Maybe some more help on the defensive line. Whatever. But no. You draft not one, but two quarterbacks. You only want to play one of them. You are not even giving the other one a fair shake. Then when he finally plays, he looks terrible, as is to be expected. And then you go in your post-game press conference and say the one quarterback who has a concussion and is currently in concussion protocol, he will play next game, start next game against the Raiders. Why the hell did you draft Shadeur Sanders if you're not going to give him a chance? Why? Why? What the hell are you thinking? Like I said, when you're 3-14, you ain't in no position to try to prove a point to anyone. Because right now, everybody thinks you're a joke. And you're looking like it. So, the Shadeur Sanders saga continues. Personally, I hope the young man gets a fair chance. If not with the Browns, somewhere else. Because I think he can play. All he needs is a chance. I mean, he could have been ranting and raving and huffing and puffing all these weeks. He hasn't. At least I haven't heard that much ranting and raving from him. Give the young man a chance to play, or let him go somewhere where he might. Big O with the big mouth in the Total Sports Ozone. Let's move on. What's wrong with the Kansas City Chiefs, fellas? Ladies and gentlemen, the Chiefs, just think about this. Currently, the Chiefs are 5-5. First time they've been at 500. 10 weeks into the season since 2015. After their 22-19 loss at the gun against Denver Broncos yesterday. As I said earlier at the top of the show, is the Chiefs' reign a stranglehold on the AFC come to an end? Is this the last we're going to see of the Chiefs as we know it? I mean, they've been to what? They've been 5 Super Bowls, won 3. I mean, every year they're right there. They wanted the AFC Western Division, I believe, 8 straight years. That's in jeopardy. All that is in jeopardy. They're sitting at 5-5, and they're looking at a bunch of teams in the AFC. I mean, yeah, they have the same record as Ravens at 5-5, but the Ravens are on the rise from 1-5. They're on the rise. The Chiefs are. What's going on? What is the problem? What I was asking you guys, what do you see as the problem with the Kansas City Chiefs? They used to win all these close games that they've been in. It's not like they're getting bombed a lot. They're not getting blown out. They're just not winning those close games they used to win. I mean, they used to win close games all the time. That's how they won the division last year. They won those close games. You had to play the full 60 minutes and then maybe a little bit of extra overtime to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And even if you had them down 10 points or more in the fourth quarter, they would find a way to come back and steal that game from you. They did it all last year. This year, they're not doing that. They're losing these close games. I think this is the fifth game this year or fourth game this year where they've lost by less than a score. 7 points or less. What's going on? They used to be the master at pulling rabbits out of their hat. Not anymore. It look like the rabbit that ran off. Rabbit finding a new hat. It's not like Patrick Mahomes had a bad game either. It didn't look like it. 29 of 45, 276 yards, touchdown. He did have an interception. He was sacked 3 times. It was like a so-so performance. It wasn't like, wow, an eye-opener. But it wasn't that bad either. Considering the Broncos only scored 1 touchdown and kicked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 field goals. Why wasn't Patrick Mahomes' performance enough? Well, I said the Broncos have one of the better defenses in all of the National Football League. Their defensive line get after it. Their defensive line is really, really, really good. And they get after it. With Nick Bonito and Uworke, Zach McMillan, they had 3 sacks against Patrick Mahomes yesterday. 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, a total of 8 quarterback hurries. They made Patrick Mahomes' life uncomfortable for most of the night. And he couldn't, it's like they did not, the Chiefs could not get in a good offensive rhythm the whole game. That's what Denver does. They knock you out of your rhythm. With that front line, the defensive front line, that's what Denver does on defense. They knock you out of the rhythm. They get you confused. They might get you a little uncomfortable. And that's when they tee off on you, especially that D-line. And it worked. Last night, it worked against Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice and the Kansas City Chiefs. It made the Chiefs look normal. And when is the last time we've said that about the Kansas City Chiefs over the last 6-7 years? They've looked normal. Well, they looked normal last night. And now they're in a position where they could actually miss the playoffs. Yeah, that's right. They could miss the playoffs. Right now, they're on the outside looking in, even at the wild card. They are in the outside looking in. They're sitting in 3rd place in the AFC West. They're about a game and a half or so behind the Chargers. And they're good, 3.5 games behind the Denver Broncos, even though they play both those 2 teams again. But they got to come with it. The Chiefs have to come with it. If they're going to make the playoffs, forget the AFC West. They got to come with it just to make playoffs, to grab a wild card spot. They got a critical game next week against Houston. Both teams are 5-5. So that game could determine a tie-breaking advantage for a wild card spot in the playoffs. Did we ever thought we'd see the Chiefs in this position? With Patrick Mahomes, Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce, Coach Andy Reid? Did we ever thought we'd see this? I didn't think it would be this year. Now, I've been saying all this year, don't sleep on the Chiefs. Don't sleep on the Chiefs. I told you, don't sleep. I've been saying that all year. Well, I don't know now. My faith in the Chiefs is waning a little bit because they're not the Chiefs I know and you know they are. They have been. Let's put it like that. They're not those Chiefs right now, and they only got 7 games remaining to get back to being those Chiefs. Can they do it? Only time will tell. I'm not sure. Because it's not like the Denver Broncos are the greatest thing since sliced bread on offense. Like I said, they only scored 1 touchdown yesterday and kicked 5 field goals. So their offense is still a work in progress. It still is. Against good defensive teams with average or better defenses, the Broncos will have problems scoring. They will. Whether they're at home or on the road. Against teams with average or better defenses, the Broncos will have problems scoring points. So it's not like the Broncos, they got the great defense, but their offense is so-so. So I can't be sold on the Broncos as the the top of the dog in the AFC. Not until they fix up their offensive problems. But I can't be. My faith in the Chiefs have waned considerably. They've dug themselves into a little bit of a hole. I'm just not so sure if they can dig themselves out of it. Not with the way they've been playing. They've been yo-yoing, up, down, up, down, up, down. And in the NFL, you're either going up or you're going down. This up, down will get you knocked out. Well, may not even let you get into the playoffs. And right now, the Chiefs can't afford to be up, down, up, down, up, down anymore. At 5-5, when you not even in a wild card spot as of this morning, you're not even in a wild card spot. You can't be up, down no more. You got to be up and stay up. Can they do that? Well, I wouldn't put it against them because they are the reigning defending AFC champions, and they won 3 out of the last 5 Super Bowls. So I wouldn't put it against them, but I'm just not so sure anymore. Only time will tell. Big O with the big mouth. Total Sports Ozone. Manic Monday. Let's move on. The other game that was intriguing last night was the Eagles and the Lions. Now, I thought this was going to be a good offensive showcase with both teams. Man, was I wrong. Hey. Yeah. I thought this was going to be like 2 great offenses, lighting it up. Last team with the ball win. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What? This game was anything but that. Damn, that put me to sleep once. But the Eagles pulled out the 16-9 victory at home against the Detroit Lions. So, do you credit the defense on both teams for this game being as boring as it was? Or do you say these offenses got some work to do? I know Philly's offense got some work to do. They've only scored 29 points in the last 2 games. They've somehow pulled out the wins because they've held the last 2 opponents, the Packers, the Lions, to 19 points. So they've pulled out these wins somehow, some way. But they can't. Their offense has to get on the right page. And somewhere along the line, it's just not the offense we saw it to be last year. It's not that at all. I don't know if it's that infighting with A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts and the coaching staff. I don't know what it is. But they're not all on the same page. We can tell that. Jalen Hurts only threw for 135 yards. He didn't have no touchdown. He didn't throw a pick, though. He was sacked only once. Now, for Jalen Hurts, those numbers are like Saquon Barkley. Only 83 yards on 26 totes. No touchdown. Longest run was 14 yards. Yeah, the numbers were pedestrian. Jalen Hurts, 31 yards. He scored their only touchdown of the game. But is it the play calling? Is it, like I said, A.J. Brown causing all this dysfunction by asking not to get the ball? He did get the ball 7 times on 11 targets when he had 49 yards. So it's not like he helped the cause. Again, can Philly survive playing like this on offense? I mean, they are 8-2. I mean, for all this brouhaha about their offense looking like stank on doo doo, they are still winning. They are still winning. So it's not like they're on a 4-game losing streak. They've won 5 in a row. 8-2. What can you make of this? Is this the way they should play? Should they lean on their defense the remainder of the regular season and into the playoffs to hopefully get themselves back into the Super Bowl? I don't think they can. I really don't think they can. Not when you got the Seattle Seahawks doing their thing, the LA Rams doing their thing. Detroit Lions ain't no joke on offense. Their defense, yesterday their offense just looked a little out of sorts. And that was the Eagles' defense. Had something to do with that. However, I'm in agreement with every Detroit fan that is listening to me or will watch this show or talk to your friends about it. Please hit the like and subscribe button. I am in agreement with you that last call was bullshit. Of defensive pass interference when it looked like both players was just jockeying for position. And the ball wasn't even catchable. He threw it far to the receiver's right and high. And they called pass interference on that. I looked at the replay 5 straight times. And I'm still, to this day, on this very minute, wondering, what was the foul? Who grabbed who? Where was the foul? Where's the pass interference? He ain't knock him down. He wasn't holding on to him. They were jockeying for the ball, and they both went up to get it. Where was the foul? I don't think games should end on the ref's calls. I just don't buy that. I never liked that. So I can understand why all the Detroit Lions fans were hollering and screaming about that, and they should, because it took away the Lions' chance of possibly tying the game up late. Took away their chance on a pass interference call that I'm sorry, I just didn't see it. However, I believe the Lions will bounce back. They just have too good an offense not to. But they got to tighten it up a little bit on defense. And they got to get back on the same page. Like it looks like this is a team on offense that can get rattled quick if you apply pressure to Jared Goff. He threw an interception and he got sacked twice. When he's under pressure, he can get a little bit with the happy feet. So maybe the Eagles have found the method to the madness of taming the Lions on offense. Send pressure. Keep the pressure on Jared Goff. Make that offensive line block and pass protect longer than 3 seconds. Or for at least around 3 seconds. Make them do that. And you can rattle this team on offense. Because if you give Jared Goff time to go back there, call his wife, hey baby, how you doing? Order a DoorDash, check his taxes, check his accounts, and then fling that ball all over the weapons he has, he'll eat you alive. The Lions, the offense will eat you alive, eat anybody alive. But if you bring the pressure, it throws their timing off, it throws their rhythm off a little bit. I've noticed that against the Detroit Lions. If you bring the pressure, a team that can bring that pressure. I ain't saying sell out blitz. I'm just saying constant pressure on that offense, especially when on known passing situations. If you can bring that pressure to Jared Goff, you could throw that whole offense off. So maybe the Eagles found a little method to the madness there. We'll see. We'll see as we go along. But if you like defense, you like that game last night. 16-9, Eagles win over the Detroit Lions. I thought the game was going to be in the 30s, 35s. 16-9. Defense prevailed in that game. Big O with the Big Mouth Total Sports Ozone. Oh, before I get into college football, I gotta make my 2 cents about this, because I'm pretty sure y'all saw it, especially you Bengals fans and Steelers fans. I'm pretty sure y'all saw the spitting incident between Jamar Chase and Jalen Ramsey. Why didn't we learn our lesson from what happened in the first game with the Cowboys and the Eagles when Jalen Carter from the Eagles spit in Dak Prescott's face and was immediately ejected? Have we not learned our lessons from that? I guess not. I ain't got no problem with the smack talking in sports. I never had a problem with that. It's part of the game. And that's in any game. Baseball, football, basketball, hockey, boxing. I ain't got no problem with the talking, the smack talking. Hey, these games are played by men and women with egos. So they're going to talk smack. It's part of the game. Spitting has never been a part of the game, though. And I don't care who you are. I don't care how big you think you are. I don't care how much money you make or whatever. I don't care how much you think you're better than that player opponent against you. You ain't got no right to spit in nobody's face. And I saw it. And I saw on the interview that Jamar Chase said when they asked him, "Did you spit?" And he said, "There ain't nothing come out of my mouth." Dude, video don't lie. Unless this video was AI enhanced or something to that effect, something came out of your mouth looking like liquid. And I don't think it was you chucked a Coca-Cola and thought it was nasty and then decided to spit it out on the dude's face. That looked like clear liquid to me coming out of your mouth. And I'm sorry. That's a line you shouldn't be crossing. I don't care who you are. You don't spit in nobody's face. That is probably the ultimate form of disrespect there is. And male, female, it doesn't matter. That is the ultimate form of disrespect. It's like you saying that the other person ain't even a human when you spit in their face. And if I'm running the disciplinary things in the National Football League, Jamar Chase sitting down 2 games without pay. 2 games. I'm gonna make him think. I'm gonna set an example. I'm sitting him down 2 games without pay for spitting in somebody's face. Because you don't accidentally, I don't even want to hear from anybody that it was an accident. You don't accidentally spit on anybody. And I'm amazed that Jalen Ramsey only just grabbed his helmet. I was thinking there would have been a brawl. There should have been a brawl. I wouldn't have put it by Jalen Ramsey if he took Jamar Chase's helmet off and beat him all over the world with it. He spit in the man's face. Now, if I'm the man that's setting up the discipline, like I said, Jamar Chase is sitting down 2 games without pay. Jalen Ramsey, for putting your hands on another player like that, I would have to fine him at least probably about $25,000. I'd fine him because I can't condone that either. But Only 25 grand. That's like me and you getting a $10 parking ticket. That's all. It'd be like, I would be like with Jalen Ramsey, I gotta find you, but I understand. I gotta find you because you're not supposed to be putting your hands on another player or anybody on the field like that. But I understand. But Jalen Ramsey, he's sitting for 2 games without pay. And I might find him a few extra $1,000. I just might. That's just how I see it. There's some lines you don't cross. I don't care why, what for, what, who said what. That's a line you just don't cross. Spitting in somebody's face. Not acceptable on any level to anybody. Nobody wants to be spit on. Nobody. So that's what I think should happen. I haven't heard yet any word on what the suspension or what the punishment will be, period. But I'm pretty sure it'll be coming. It should be coming. If not later on today, should be definitely tomorrow. But if I hear about it, I will definitely talk about it on tomorrow's podcast. What the punishment would be, whether it was fair or not. But that's what I think the punishment should be for Jamar Chase. 2 games without pay and maybe $100,000 fine. And for Jalen Ramsey, $25,000 fine. But you get to play next week. All right? Again, that's a no-no. Don't spit in nobody's face. That's like you're asking for a fight. You spit in somebody's face, you're asking for a fight. It's like, let's get it on. That's what you're asking for when you do that. So, all y'all out there, don't do that unless you want to fight. I'm just saying. Just saying. Big O with the Big Mouth Total Sports Ozone. Let's move on to college football. Woo-wee! Oh, there was some upset. There was an upset, an almost upset, and one team that is in really big trouble. Let's break it down. The almost upset Texas A&M with with probably one of the better comebacks we're going to see this year in college football, probably the last couple of years, when they were down at home to South Carolina 30-3. 30-3 at the halftime break. And came back, scored 28 unanswered points, 21 of them in the third quarter, to come back and eke out a 1-point win against South Carolina. And now when I say eke out, they eked it out. I have to give it up for Texas A&M because you got to have a lot of grit and determination, and you don't quit no matter what for them pulling out that win. Plus, you got to give it, if you're an A&M fan, you got to give it up to the 12th man, the crowd. The crowd, even when they got down in that big deficit, they didn't leave. They stayed. That crowd stayed. The fans stayed, and with each touchdown the Aggies made, that crowd got louder and louder and louder. And I kept thinking, when it got to 30-17, I'm thinking South Carolina is going to lose this game. I just don't think they're going to hold on to lose. And if I'm the South Carolina athletic director or administrator, the guy in charge of the hiring and firing, the coach of the South Carolina, was it Beamer? That coach would have never made it off the field with his job. I'd have fired him before he got to the locker room. Because I don't care how bad, good, or indifferent your team is. I don't care if you're playing on the road, at home, on Jupiter, on the moon, in Timbuktu, or on the top of Mount Everest. You do not blow a 27-point lead. You don't do that. How the hell do you got to be one of the sorriest teams in all of creation to blow that kind of a lead at the half? I mean, what were you doing in the second half, South Carolina? That's what I want to know. Who's calling your plays? It's not that simple. I mean, for y'all, it must not be that simple. But it ain't that hard. You have a 27-point lead on the road. What do you do? On offense, what do? Run the damn ball. Run the damn ball. Want to know why you do that? Want to know why? Do you really want to know why? Do you want to know why you run the ball when you have a 20-plus point lead in the second half? Why? A, it keeps the chains moving. B, it keeps the other team's offense off the field. And C, that clock keeps ticking. Which gives the other team less possessions in the second half, which gives them less opportunities to catch up. Plus, on defense, I know the A&M's quarterback, he's pretty good. Reed, he's pretty good. He can throw it, he can run it. But you got that kind of a lead, you know they're not going to run the ball. They ain't got time to be running the ball no more. So what they going to do? Pass. So what should you do? Blitz. On defense, you send everybody. On defense, you send the kitchen sink, the dishwasher, the fridge, the stove, the microwave, and if you got one in there, a trash compactor to the quarterback. You send everything to him. Make him beat you. You don't give him time playing that stupid Temper 2 zone prevent. So he has time to pick your damn defense apart. And steadily come back. And while you got your quarterback on your offense, is shotgun all the damn time. For what? Run the damn ball. Third and short, run your quarterback. What is he, 6'4", 6'5", 240 pounds? I'm pretty sure he can take the pounding. Especially to get 2-3 yards to keep the chains moving. I couldn't understand it. I still don't understand it. I still don't understand how you blew that game, South Carolina. I don't get it. But you blew it. And then, like I said, if I was the athletic director or whatever, y'all asses would have been fired. You wouldn't even made it up the field with your job. I'd have been nice. I'd have been like, I'm going to fly you and your coaching staff back to South Carolina. After that, get off my plane and get the hell out of my facility. Pack your stuff and get out of my facility. Monday, the head coach, you come in my office, you come see me, we'll talk about your buyout. But you are no longer the head coach of this team. Not after you blowing a 27-point lead at the half. Kudos to Texas A&M for the comeback, though. They stayed in there, and they pulled out that win. So kudos to A&M. My props to them. Now, another team that I can't give props to right now, Alabama and Texas. Both in the top 10 in the latest college football playoff rankings. I doubt they'll be there tomorrow. Alabama probably will still be in. Alabama, they could afford a loss. They could afford another loss at least. And they're probably still getting in as long as they run the table. And as long as they beat Auburn in the Iron Bowl in a couple of weeks. It was a damaging loss, though. And I was wondering what the problem was. But then again, I thought Oklahoma does have one of the best defenses in all of college football. I think they're like 2-3 notches below Ohio State. But they have a staunch defense. And the fact that what has they been discussing about the problem with Alabama's offense? Everybody's been saying it. ESPN, Fox, everybody's been saying it. Fox Sports, ESPN, Even online, on 3, 247. Everybody has been saying the same problem. Sirius XM, which I listen to a lot, college sports radio, I listen to that a lot, and everybody says the same thing about Alabama and their offense. They cannot run the ball. That's why they lost to Oklahoma. They cannot effectively run. And it's still shocking to me that they can't. Because I've seen this team run over, under, around, and through teams over the years. Derrick Henry, Ingram, all those big boy running backs they've had. Why they can't run the ball this year? It's a baffling issue. And if they do not correct this, and the thing is, they only got 2 games left. I think they play a scrub and then they play the Iron Bowl, right? They had better get right with the running of the ball. And they ain't got too many games left to try and do that. But if they're not able to run the ball, they're not gonna, if they make it to the playoffs, they're not gonna win. You have to be able to run the ball a little bit. You have to. Because if you don't run the ball, they're not gonna stack 8 in the box. 7, 8 in the box, because they know you can't run worth a damn. So they can just tee off on the passing game. They got to help Simpson out. Running backs on that team have to help Simpson out. And doing that, they got to be able to run the ball. And the offensive line, they got to open up some holes. And that's not happening. This is probably why they lost. And the thing is, they had more yardage. They had almost double the yardage that Oklahoma had in that game. I think they had over 400 yards. But they had only 110 running, I believe. Plus, they turned the ball over. That'll do it. Oklahoma didn't have that much offense. Didn't generate that much offense. And in this case, they didn't need to. Because of Alabama's inability to run the ball. Plus, they turned the ball over. Oklahoma took advantage. And they escaped Tuscaloosa with a big win. A big win. Now, Alabama's in that position where they have to win in the Iron Bowl against Auburn. And it's a rivalry game. The Iron Bowl, stats don't matter. In that game, stats don't matter. Rankings don't matter. Records don't matter. Auburn will love nothing but, I'm pretty sure them Auburn Tigers, War Eagle fans will love nothing better than to ruin Alabama's chances of making the college football playoff for the second year in a row. They would love it. They would love it. They would toilet paper tunas kernels every day for 2 weeks if they could pull this off. I'm pretty sure of it. I don't think they'll do it. But Alabama, you got to run the ball. Fellas, y'all got to learn how to run that damn ball. I'm just saying. Now, the other team that took a loss last week that really, really damaging is Texas. Texas. They got blasted by Georgia. 35 to, I believe it was 10. Not a good look. Committee ain't going to like it. Plus, it was their third loss. So here's the question. Posed this question earlier at the start of the show. Can Texas get in with 3 losses? They play in 2 weeks, Texas A&M in Austin. Now, judging by the way Texas A&M had to make one hellacious Herculean comeback just to beat South Carolina, it is possible that Texas could pick off A&M if they're playing at home. It's possible. They got to play way better. Arch Manning has to play way better than he plays Saturday night. But they are at home. Now, here's my question. If Texas beats Texas A&M, should they get in the college football playoff? Now, remember, they've lost 3 games, but quality losses. They lost to Ohio State, current number 1 team in the country. They had a bad loss in the swamp against the Florida Gators. And then they had another quality, but it was a blowout loss in Athens against Georgia. Now, but they beat some ranked teams. They beat Oklahoma in the Red River Shootout. So they've had a couple quality wins. They beat Vanderbilt. That's another quality win on their resume. If they beat Texas A&M, who will no doubt be ranked 3rd, still ranked 3rd when the next college football playoff rankings come out tomorrow night, they'll probably still stay at 3rd. If Texas can beat them, should they get in? That's going to be a hell of a question to ask. That's going to be a hell of a question to answer. Because they're still sitting 3 losses. And the committee made it clear last year to Alabama, you ain't getting in with 3 losses. You're not getting in. They didn't. They put SMU, they bumped SMU in over Alabama. Even though SMU had gotten throttled in the Big 12, in the Big ACC championship game, they still bumped SMU over Alabama. That was the big debate last year. Who should get in? Alabama with 3 losses or SMU with only 2? They bumped SMU in. Now, we're going to have that debate again if Texas ends up beating Texas A&M. Who should get in? And they're probably going to be anywhere between Texas, it could be Virginia, it could even be Miami, it could be Vanderbilt, if Vanderbilt wins out. There's going to be a big time debate, heated debate of should Texas get in if they beat Texas A&M at home in a couple of weeks. Now, if they lose, it's moot. The question is moot. They're done. Go to one of them, thank you for playing bowls. But if they beat Texas A&M, there's going to be a big time debate on if Texas should get in. There's going to be a lot of fors and a lot of against. And I'm going to sit back and just reap the benefits. And if that does happen, I'm going to let you know what I think. Personally, I don't think a team with 3 losses should get in. But this is the SEC. So the committee might poo-poo the 3 losses to the side, especially when 2 of those 3 were quality losses. Who knows? It all depends on what the other teams do. Especially, like, say, Michigan. That team up north. What if they went out? Beat Ohio State. They're sitting there with 2 losses. Should they get in over Texas? If they're sitting there with 3? There's going to be a lot of debates. There's going to be a lot of debates about Texas. And then you're going to have the USC, Miami, Virginia, BYU, Vanderbilt, Utah. All of them around there sitting with 2 losses. One or 2 of those teams are going to get their feelings hurt. Especially if Texas get in because they beat Texas A&M, the number 3 team in the country. Man, I can't wait for that debate to happen. But it's coming. It could happen. It could happen. All right, it's time for the big old with the big mouth to shut it down for today. Tomorrow, college football playoff rankings will come out tomorrow night. I'll probably be discussing that on Wednesday's show. But tomorrow, my top 5 Tuesday. I'll give you my top 5 teams in the NFL and in college football for the current week. We'll do that tomorrow here on the Total Sports Ozone. Have a great Monday, y'all.